Hey everybody, I just want to take this video. It's regarding Rivian, Ford, and all these electric vehicle pickup trucks. And the reason why I want to make this video is because I don't think people really have considered the range and the practicality for conventional truck users. So let's assume that companies like Rivian and Ford, they get it down. They get the masculine design down that appeals to the conventional truck user. They make the vehicle very customizable. They get the interior and exterior on T, right? That's great. I'm pretty sure they can do a decent job at that. I mean, just look at that. Look at that R1. That's definitely something. But it baffles me because look at Rivian's market cap. They want a market cap of $80 billion. Does that sound reasonable? For a company that hasn't delivered one vehicle yet, I don't know. You tell me. I mean, Lucid has over $40 billion of market cap. Does that sound reasonable without delivering one vehicle? Well, you tell me. I don't know about that. But, anyway, I just want to go over the range of these vehicles and the mileage. So what we have here is the standard Ford F-150 range on gas, which is 750 miles on a single tank of gas, right? With all the right conditions are met, it can reach up to 750, right? That's good. That's pretty good for a big pickup truck. This is definitely going to change, right? When you're loading and hauling things, going from point A to point B, when you're using it to go off-roading, going up hills, down hills, things like that. Currently, the Ford F-150 Lightning gives you 230 miles of range, and if a larger pack boost gives you 300 miles of range. Okay, that's not much. That sucks. Okay, let's just be honest. That really sucks. And then with the Rivian, you get I don't know, 314 miles of range, supposedly. And in January 2022, you can get a 400 mile plus range Rivian. And with the R1T, you can get a 250 ranged Rivian, mild range Rivian. So that sucks a lot because if you're a conventional truck driver, right? Whatever these numbers are, EPA estimates, whatever they are, they're going to go down drastically, right? You're going uphill, downhill, off-roading, hauling heavy luggage, hauling lumber, if you're a tradesman, you're hauling all these heavy tools. If you're going camping, you're carrying all this heavy gear. If you're, a conventional truck driver, right? The average customer, the average consumer of a truck will not find the low range appealing because to go from point A to point B, let's just pretend that you're a plumber and you have all your heavy tools loaded onto this Rivian or even this Ford F-150, whatever trade you work in or wherever you're going, camping, etc., hauling all these supplies or goods. It's gonna lower down the average mileage of these vehicles. Not only that, if you want to replenish the battery, they do have some kind of charging system similar to Tesla and other supercharging systems. But the problem is that you cannot abuse supercharging, and even if you use supercharging consistently, it costs money, but also you can't fully charge it. So even if you were to get 300 miles of range, which you will not if you're a conventional truck user, you can only charge it up to like 80%, and you have to make sure that it doesn't drop down below a certain percent as well. So you're stuck with this Rivian or Ford F1 Lightning that cannot have the maximum potential of range. So if you're working, for example, and you have to work on a timely manner, going from point A, B, C, D, you have to stop at a supercharging port each and what? From point A to point B, you maybe don't have to, but from point B to point C, you might have to, and then from point C to point F, you might have to. Or if you're going off-roading and you're going camping, you might not make it back. You might not make it back. So the problem I see with a lot of these electric trucks is that they're placing the burden onto the consumer. Because for conventional truck users, right? For conventional truck users, it's not practical to have low range. Okay, you need high range. You need high mile range. These trucks do not provide that at the moment. So no conventional and practical truck user will adapt these trucks. At least not with the mileage that they currently offer. Will it happen one day? Yeah, it will. It definitely will. But with the low range that these current trucks offer, it's not practical. They're putting way too much burden on the customer. It costs way too much of a starting price. The starting price for these vehicles are $67,000 with only 314 miles of range. That sucks. And then, you know what? If someone buys it in 2021, they're stuck with this vehicle that has 250 miles of range or 314 miles of range, while in 2022, if they waited, there's going to be a 400-mile range. Or maybe in 2023, there was a 450-mile range one. Or maybe in 2024, there's a 600-mile range one because solid-state batteries and technology has improved. So everyone else who bought these Rivian trucks earlier or the Ford Lightnings earlier, they're stuck with these degrading batteries and these trucks that cannot change the battery out, at least easily or affordably. But so while everybody else might have a newer Rivian or a new type of Rivian with like 600 miles of range, everybody else who bought early is stuck with these low range degrading batteries that puts too much responsibility and too much burden on the consumer. So, what could Rivian do today to prevent that? Well, they can't do much. Ford can't do much. They could if they design their, like maybe in China, for example, or in Oslo, Norway, they were to adopt NIO's battery swap technology, then they could. The problem is that a lot of these electric vehicle companies in general, they don't have battery swap technology, unlike NIO. NIO can swap the battery out. So as every year we have more capital flowing into R&D, research and development, and into battery technology, we're going to make leaps. We're going to make huge leaps in technological advancement in the batteries and software and vehicle build. Every year, we're going to make these huge achievements because there's more money than ever and more focus on these types of technologies. But, early adapters of electric vehicles, like the BMW i3, for example, has 150 miles of range or less. So all these older buyers, and even if you were to buy it today, are stuck with these electric vehicles of low range. But if you own a NIO, no matter how great the battery gets, no matter how great the battery technology gets and improves, you don't have to worry because you can swap the battery out and just get the newest and latest battery. So one day, soon, when the solid-state batteries are refined and we have vehicles of 800 miles of range for electric vehicles, while everybody today who has bought an electric vehicle or tomorrow or the next year have these junk ranged vehicles from electric vehicles, everyone has to suck and worry and deal with it, while the new consumers are running around with 800 mile range batteries. Except for NIO users. NIO users can just swap out their batteries, their 300, 400, 500, 600 mile range batteries for the 800 mile battery range with this battery swap technology, battery swap, BAS services. And as the technology keeps improving, NIO customers can opt in for a better battery, while everyone else is stuck with their current degrading battery with ever degrading mileage. So that sucks, and I think that it's really disingenuous that electric vehicle companies are putting all this burden onto the consumer, except for NIO. NIO's the only one that understands that there's a good equilibrium between getting people to transition into electric vehicles while also being able to make sure that the vehicle holds and retains the value, and also can be relevant as the battery technology increases further and rapidly. So I think NIO's the only company that really got it down, especially when it comes to the consumer. And at this point, NIO's better off being the company that uh, introduces the pickup truck, because if NIO offers a pickup truck, at least the range will increase, right? For early adopters of electric pickup trucks, while for Ford users and for Rivian users, they're stuck with their low range um, pickup trucks that puts too much burden on the consumer. And you know what? This goes for any other company: Tesla, Nissan, Porsche, BMW. All these electric vehicle companies are putting too much responsibility and too much burden onto the consumer. It's not fair for them. And you know, they'll realize that they'll realize that once the battery technology starts making even faster advancements, because everybody who has these lower range vehicles with 400 miles or less are going to be pissed when they realize that in a year from now or two, everybody has 600 to 700 miles of range on average, and only the NIO users can adopt it. So, you know, with that being said, I think that Rivian and Ford should really adopt the battery swap technology, or NIO should, you know, release their own line of pickup trucks. But you know, I know that electric vehicles in Asia, um, in some areas in particular, I don't know if it's China, the pickup trucks, you know, tend to be a little bit smaller. So yeah, I don't know. Is it reasonable for Lucid Airs to have 40 billion plus market cap? I don't know. Is it reasonable that Rivian wants 80 billion of market cap? Who knows? Is it reasonable for Ford to expect people to go from a 750-mile ranged Ford F-150 masculine gas guzzler to a 300-mile range, 230-mile range pickup truck for such an outrageous price? Who knows? But you know what these companies really need to realize is that they're putting too much burden on the consumer. Except Neil's not.